Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. And here he is, Michael Savage.
Savage. Yes, indeed, it's Michael Savage. And, of course, I'm not going to talk about the so-called fiscal cliff because it's been talked about from morning till night, and it's all a charade. It's a shell game. John Boehner looks like he came out of the tanning bed with a case of scotch. Looking better than ever, by the way. Obama, of course, is laughing at everyone because he knows the outcome before it even started, just as he knew the outcome of the election, going back to the conversation with Medvedev last year when he said, when I'm reelected. So it's all a shell game. So I'm not going to talk about what we can't control. You may think you can control it. You can get righteously indignant if you wish. I want to talk about Susan Rice for a moment. Now, I don't know the lady. Nice-looking woman, lied to America about what happened in Libya. We know that. Bald-faced lie. When on the shows, I started to scream at the television. The dog got frightened, ran under the desk. But I don't really know who Susan Rice is. I knew she was a naked, bald-faced liar. Nice lady, though, good-looking. But I looked into her background. I'm going to give you some information you've heard nowhere else. No, sir, not from Rush, not from Hush, and not from Mush. You have not heard what I'm about to tell you about Susan Rice on Rush, Hush, or Mush. Wallbanger? No. Nobody is going to disclose to you that her father is a former governor of the Federal Reserve System. Aha. Now, you heard that she had investments and that she's worth $24 million. Nothing wrong with that. You heard that she had investments in companies that do business with Iran. Nothing wrong with that. That's par for the course for a Democrat. I mean, this goes back to Robert Rubin's day at Treasury under Bill Clinton. Say one thing, do business with the enemy. You know, that's how it works if you're a Democrat. Oh, and at the same time, say that you're for the downtrodden poor and, of course, the African-American. So she's worth between $24 to $44 million. God bless her. How she made it, I don't know. Now, probably through investments. She's a very smart woman. She's a former basketball player, star point guard on the basketball team. Went to, of course, the Institution of Lower Living here in the San Francisco area, Stanford. She's a wonderful scholar, and she's, by the way, a protege of that wonderful prize, former Secretary of Haight, none other than Madeleine Halfbright, the woman who, of course, became a lobbyist for China right after leaving the government, bombed Serbia into the Stone Age because Serbia was trying to protect Kosovo from a takeover by the Kosovo Albanian Muslim terrorists. That's the kind of people you're dealing with. They stole a half a nation from the Serbs, does business with Iran. Now she wants to be Secretary of State. Now, I would say she has the qualifications to become Secretary of State. Now that I've given you her curriculum vitae, she's perfect to be Secretary of State. I mean, she follows Madeleine Albright. How much lower can you go? I mean, it's perfect. She's right in line to become another Madeleine Albright. Federal Reserve System. The father was a former governor of the Federal Reserve System. Mother, guest scholar at the ultra-liberal Brookings Institution. And so, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, although you learned today that she was a wealthy woman, and we don't attack wealth on the Savage Nation, because, after all, we're not socialists. We believe in wealth, but wealth earned, honest wealth is good. And I'm sure that her investments paid off very well. Now, it's obvious that she lied about the September 11, 2012 attacks in Benghazi. She lied to America, lied to the world, bald-facedly lied. And we can't understand why she would lie if she's worth $44 million. Until you start adding up the companies she's invested in. She had $50,000 to $100,000, peanuts, by the way, according to Madeleine Albright's standards, in Royal Dutch Shell, a long-term purchaser of Iranian crude. Let's see. Has additional investments in Norsk Hydro ASA, a Norwegian aluminum firm. She has investments in BHP Billiton PLC, an Australian-based natural resources company. We're talking about your friend Susan Rice. She has, other investments. You don't know what these companies are any more than I do. Just know that she has many investments in companies working with the despicable nation of the new Hitler, Tehran. And so you have to ask yourself, why would Obama be risking so much of his beloved stature by pushing this lady, Miss Rice-A-Roni, onto the stage where all of this is going to come out as it already has? born Susan Olivins Rice in Washington, D.C. on November 17, 1961, to parents Lois Dixon Fitt and Emma J. Rice. Her family is well renowned amongst the Washington elite. Father Emmett is a Cornell University economics prof and former governor of the Federal Reserve, which I said. Mother is a fanatic leftist at the I shouldn't say a mother is. She's a guest scholar at the fanatical left-wing Brookings Institution. And, of course, she is a protege of none other than Madeline Halfwit. Madeline Halfwit, with whom Rice's mother served with on a local school board. So now you understand who she is. And she's a former Rhodes Scholar like Bill Clinton. So now we're going to talk not about Rice-A-Roni, because I've disclosed all I ever want to talk about her. And there's nothing to say. She's unqualified at any speed. She never should have been U.S. ambassador to the UN, owing to her investments with companies that do business with Iran. Should have been disqualified right there. God bless her. She'd make a great lobbyist, or she could work for the Brookings Institution. She has qualifications that would enable her to teach, for example, at some of the institutions of lower living, such as Stanford, Harvard, Yale, and the other institutions where they teach kinky sex 101 to incoming students.